Hello, everybody. Good morning, Baron, X-Runner. What's going on? Oh, Dustborn did bomb hard. Bombed very hard. So we'll definitely be going over that that as well. That's all right. You know, when you get money from the government, it kind of helps. Kind of helps get you over that hump if you want to fund your projects. We're gonna hello everybody. It's David. I'm welcome to Scarred Thumb Podcast. Hey, good morning, Deborah. Good to see you. They will be talking about Concord bombed spectacularly, more than I could ever imagine. I wouldn't have predicted this. I would have been more conservative. I would have done maybe it'll only get like a few thousand, kind of like Suicide Squad. Hey, good morning, King Trust Issues. Good to see you. So, first we're going to start off. This was an older story, but a funny one. So, this came up. The desk engineer has pride flags hidden behind the badges. And then you could see this. I think this is a non-binary flag. I don't know my pride flags. Is this non-binary? But anyway, it had this flag, one of the pride flags. No one really cares. And then basically, it was there's an update, which is very rare for TF2 to get, and all of a sudden it's gone. It is no longer on the back because it was never visible. It was always just on the back like an Easter egg. Someone sort of hid it in the texture here. And then it was removed. Updated the desk engineer cosmetic item. Congratulations, Chuds, you won. And this is the inspiration for the title, Total Normal Person Victory. The normal people are winning. They're winning a lot. It turns out people don't like these sort of slop that a lot of these companies are putting out. They just want normal, traditionally beautiful characters, and not this weird, inclusive style that is completely removed of any sort of hey, good morning, Silver Bishop. Completely removed from any sort of traditional beauty and aesthetics, any sort of normal sexuality. This is from The Park Place by John F. Trent. Concord dies out the gate. DOA. Release date peak concurrent players on Steam is 70% less than the game's open beta. So the people that chose to play the open beta, Dave as a pro is on time. Yes, we're always on time. 70% less. So they lost 70% of the people that were willing to try it in the open beta. Of course, that was free. Now they're asking for $40. So 70% of these people decided, it's really not worth it to pay $40 for this game. And then we have the charts. This was the early access, which there was already many signs that this game was going to fail. First of all, the closed beta was only like 1,124, and they could control how many invites they have. It's pretty. So I mean, just having a very small closed beta would be. This is a game early access in the middle of July, so have like a small closed beta. All right, but then they had the open beta, and then it peaked at 2,388. So this was a big red flag that things were coming. Things were going to be a disaster. Things were not good. When you offer the game people to play the game for free, and only 2,388 people is your peak at any certain point, yeah, it's not looking good. Hey, good morning, JBB. Good to see you. Silver Bishop. Good to see you too. Throwing shots at poor coach. What the heck? So this wasn't looking good. And well, it finally came out, and we were wondering just what's going to happen. What's going to happen now that it came out fully, and it was just a complete failure. Not even breaking 700 concurrent players on Steam. It's just insane. This is a game that cost probably, a lot of people are kind of estimating over $150 million. And I mean, considering any sort of marketing, which I don't know if they're really putting a lot of marketing out at this point. I think that they're probably just like, it's done. They probably realized that it was just going to be a complete disaster. But I mean, look at this, like that your peak is under 700. You couldn't get to 700. And now it's like 600 people playing, it's dropping down. I should have gotten let me get the Steam chart for the current Steam. Actually, I think I might have included that, yeah. This is the current Steam chart right now. 221 players are playing this game right now. It's 24-hour peak. This is the weekend, by the way. It first started off on Friday, all right? Started off on Friday. You're thinking, people are still at their jobs Friday night. But, the weekend, you usually get a boost at the weekend because, people are off. They want to, let's play some video games, guys. There is no weekend boost. Wait, let's look at the 1 week. So this is Friday. They got their peak. This was the weekend. Everyone's like, nope. We just turned it in, guys. It's done. Their weekend peak is like 465 concurrent players. Oh my god. At some point, what was the lowest? It was dropping below 200 players. Dropping below 200 players. Oh my god. Underneath 150 players. Ooh. This is so bad. Just complete failure. Hundreds of millions of dollars just thrown down the drain. Saturday I played Halo 3 all day. Saturdays are for binging. Oh yeah. Probably more people were playing Halo than the brand new Concord. Just absolute. And this was just such a disaster. Holy smokes. This was supposed to be a triple A game. They put serious effing money into this. And this is just such a failure. And this is Scott Lowe. This is director of communications, who, interestingly enough, looked at what he previously worked with. I mean, Naughty Dog, but IGN, The Verge, which I was kind of wondering, why are they getting such good press from a lot of places? Well, of course, they're bought and paid for it because they want to be nice to Sony. But also, a lot of these guys are kind of incestuous as far as, where they work. So that's another reason for journalists to be nice. Hey, I could get a cushy PR job with a company if, I play nice. Something opens up. So this is what, it just happens in every single industry. You cannot trust them, but hey, is a lot for all players globally. Congratulations on the team and all the partners and collaborators that helped bring it to life. And then just every single one of these promo replies are just underneath it. It's just people just constantly dunking on them, constantly. It looks so bad, but the thing is, yeah, be kind. Please be kind to poor Concord. They're real people that worked on this game. The journalists. And this is, I'll try and move through these fairly quickly. But these articles, man, it's just amazing. I don't know if it's liberalism just has such a good hive mind or just this understanding that there's certain things you can't talk about, because every single one of these articles refuses to criticize the characters at all. You cannot say it was these awful designs, these awful, super woke designs. Again, just completely remove any sexuality from men and women. Men, I mean, Star Child is probably the most masculine of all these male characters, but you have to really tone that down. that can't exist. And then, let's come up with a game. Oh, how many people are interested in it? Oh, no one. No one's interested in this game. The hero shooter where all the heroes are boring as shit. Huh, that's weird. So let's get into these articles. This is Insider Gaming. Mike Straw, Concord's launch is worse than expected. Huh. Struggle of a hero shooter continues as the game is officially out. No one seems to care in the first few hours available worldwide. Concord has yet to surpass even 1,000 players. As of writing, it's less than 700 players are actively playing the online PvP title. And they said the poor beta numbers, and then it's always like, this is their line. Guys, it's $40. You can't expect people to pay $40 for a hero shooter when there's Valorant, there's Overwatch, there's all these other games. So this is what they're blaming it on. The market's poor. Wukong's out, so nobody wants to play Concord because Wukong's stealing its thunder. A game's been out development for 8. That's the other thing. 8 years. They spent 8 years on this game to make the shittiest looking 5v5 hero shooter. That is just the game's first 2 seasons have already been announced. I wonder if maybe they've already have the budget allocated for this, so it's going to keep on going. I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. But this is just so bad. I mean, Suicide Squad's still going, so there's a possibility that they have money set aside, and we'll see how long it goes. I'd almost be willing to shutter this thing right away. Just close, firewalk. It's been fun, guys. Goodbye. I don't think it'll happen right away. But again, no mention of the characters. It's $40 for nobody. That's a bad idea. Conquer was out for 8 years. Dev ready to push it for years to come. It's years to come. We're ready. Today at launch, play Concord. The game has been developed for 8 years. Oh, I accidentally clicked on it. Been in development for 8 years, and I've been there for almost 5 of them. We don't get a lot of launch days in our career. You're going to wish you didn't have launch days. So today is a special for a ton of reasons. Oblige me with some good vibes today. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't think he got the good vibes he was looking for. A reason here is being invited into a position of creative trust with a new experience. Obviously, it's a group effort. Having a seat at the table with others who inspire you and push you to do the best is tremendous privilege. The trust gave the game so much identity. It definitely got an identity now. Awesome. Let's see. Did he get the good vibes? It has 100 replies. Maybe it's all good vibes. Game's excellent. Yep. Sorry. Game looks like shit. Good vibes. Whoa. Game gonna fail. Ooh. I don't think he got the good vibes he was looking for, man. He needed them, but he needed them, but I don't think he got them. Yikes. Ooh. That's got to be rough. He's probably wishing he didn't have a launch day today. It's insane to me how long these games take. While it's always easy to dunk on the games, let's also appreciate the people. Let's not appreciate the people behind them, actually. Let's not appreciate people that make terrible-looking games. In terms of big game news, much attention was paid to Game Science Black Myth Wukong. Smashes one record. Firework Studios is now out in early access, with the game set to release 2023. This was before the launch. Are you picking up Concord? Do you think it has a chance to carving its own audience? Well, we already know how it went, and it wasn't good. Conquer review in progress. See, IGN's not ready to give you its final word on this. It takes time to really come up with it. So far, the sci-fi shooter shows promise, but could benefit from more content. It's just a little light on content. After spending its misleading named early access period, and they're kind of saying like, I played the early access, and really there wasn't a lot more in the full release game than there was in the live or the early access game. And basically saying, there's a lore-soaked cutscenes, all this stuff, gameplay you didn't already see. The gameplay's, passable. Everyone seems to think the game itself is all right. It's not spectacular, but it's okay. Uh, but really no mention in the cosmetic store. Doesn't have a lot. Pretty par for the course. I look forward to seeing how Concord evolves now that it's fully out, but I'm still having a lot of fun, while also being a bit disappointed there's not much to chew on for us to chew on overall. But with such a strong cornerstone to build off of, thanks to its satisfying FPS action and best-in-class arenas, which you can read about more in my open beta impression. Oh, it's very nice, very nice. So I get a positive review there. It's all right. I love this. This headline's so good. Eurogamer here. Spare a thought. Please spare a thought for poor Concord, a kind and earnest shooter sent out to die. Ooh. This is by Chris Tapsel. Has there ever been a more competitive time to release a video game? And this is again the same line. It's amazing how they're all on message. They're all on brand. It's such a competitive time to release this game. Oh, it's such a shame. You talk about Civ 4. Instead, we must go by vibes, and the vibe right now is it's a very competitive time. They're just too much competition for your money. If it was a kinder market, maybe Concord would have done real good, or maybe more specifically, a live service video game. This has been one of the many big head scratchers for people at the top of the game industry recently. At the risk of retreading some already overtrodden ground, big publishers, as we know, want big profits. Specifically, they want the kind of smash hit, hobby grade, zeitgeist defining golden goose. Bro, this is a lot of big words. Grand Theft Auto, Pokemon Go, Fortnite, Warzone, Counter Strike, blah blah blah. Catches at these, yeah, they don't mostly do it. This is why I suspect games have so much trouble in their tip to grow. We've seen this shifted from being part of the internet. Do I spend my $40 on a new video game or a couple of new atoms? Part of the engagement economy? Do I tweak some daily objectives in FC24 while listening to Spotify? Huh. Yep. It's just the market. It's just, we enter 8 years of development for Concord is pretty all right. Got a full review coming soon, which hopefully will be a bit more forensic than that. But there's a lot of good ideas. Kind of derivative, a Guardians of the Galaxy clone. There's kind of a weird mechanic. Again, they really just talk about how futuristic. They don't really talk about the characters at all. Yep. Let's see. Do they mention the characters at all? Let's see. Slightly glum. Hopefully it does. I genuinely hope it does bang. I really hope it does all right, because what a great game Concord is. It's plucky. It's an underdog. It's trying to get $40 for you to play as it. Again, please clear it. Please spare a kind thought. It just looks like everything else. I mean, kind of. It does look pretty generic, but it also looks uglier than anything else. Honestly, I think it got more publicity just based on how ugly its characters look. PC. This headline. The headlines are so good. It's so good. I love this article. Players seem to like Concord, but its $40 price tag has led to a tepid first weekend on PC. Yeah, players really seem to like Concord. All right, they're loving it. The whole 221 players that are playing right now, they really love Concord. Oh, I love never change, journalists. Never change. Again, the same thing. $40. A tepid first weekend. This is tepid. $150 million game has 200 players playing it right now. 3 days after release. 3 days after release. Yeah, that's definitely. Yeah. $40 price tag killed Power World. Yeah, it killed Helldivers 2 as well. No one played that game either for $40. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. doesn't have public player numbers. So it's hard to see. It's really hard to see what the complete picture. As like one person actually said, this could be 10 times. You could have 10 times the numbers, maybe even 100 times the numbers. Well, maybe 100 times. It would be 100 times. 200. You'd have to have like 100 times the amount of people playing on Steam right now for it to be okay. Like 60,000 people playing our game might be all right. But yeah, 100 times like 6,000? No. 7,000 people playing your game. So like if that's 100 times better on Sony than it is on Steam, then yeah, it might be doing okay. But if it's not, which I can pretty much guarantee to you that it isn't, then yeah, they're doing really bad. Of just 697 players, reviewers on Steam are praising its graphics and gunplay. The game seems to have the opposite balance of Valve. Finally, public deadlock. It's also a pretty game. Yeah, it's very pretty. I mean, the aesthetics, I will say, like the sort of like space thing, general aesthetics, it does seem like it has something there. But then you just give it the worst character designs of all time, and then you have nothing. You really have nothing. Blew everyone's expectation earlier this year. They mentioned Helldivers, $40. Sony published multiplayer game, totally different beast thing from Concord. There's just so many hero shooters. There's so many hero shooters. It took 8 years to develop. Actually, some people I think mentioned that it like kind of started when development started when Overwatch came out, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about. And this is Jordan Midler here. He's the host at Video Game Chronicles, the video game podcast. Let's see what he has to say. Station, your first party game is launched day and date on Steam to little fanfare with fewer than 1,000 players, and not in the top 100 top selling games on the platform. I don't say this to dunk because I actually think Concord is better than the memes have given credit for it. But I have to imagine this is ground zero for PlayStation's live service ambitions. Concord's a fine game released between a once-a-year breakout in, it's Black Myth Wukong, and a big Stony Star Wars game. I'm sure that's going to do real numbers. It's not receiving anything like the marketing deluge Sony games usually get, in the UK at least. When they're a Spider-Man or God of War, that's because they know those games are actually going to do well. I think they've realized that after the beta numbers, that this game is going to suck. It's just going to be a failure. I don't think Sony releasing a live service game like this. Concord will be used as an example at meetings with Bungie to stop Marathon from facing the same fate. I mean, if Marathon is going to create characters like this, then yeah, they probably should stop it. But this is, he decided to put out this article here. This is from VGC. Here it's written by Jordan Midler. Concord's a good shooter divorced from the reality of its genre. Huh. You see the screenshots of Diddy Kong Racing having more followers and viewers on Twitch than Concord? Yes, I did see that. Diddy Kong Racing, baby. How old is that game? Yeah, the N64 game. Outdoing Concord. By a lot. It's amazing. Which, I mean, you'd think, I guess Sony really isn't putting a lot of money into it, because usually you can pay people to play it, popular streamers to play your game. And a lot of times, new releases will do that. I mean, if it's, good enough or hype enough, people will play it on its own just because, they want to ride the wave. But you can pay popular streamers to play your game and get views. It's not, it's not that difficult, but looks like they weren't even willing to do that. It's hard enough to give it, this article was just so amazing. We have to get into it. It's hard enough to convince players in 2024 to try a new live service game when the cost of entry is simply the time it takes to download the game. But trying to get someone to pay $40 before they know even if they like the game or not seems like an impossibility. Not only that, again, Helldivers, not only that, but Concord's community sentiment has been deeply toxic from the minute it properly unveiled. The game has unfairly become a poster child for Sony's perceived pivot away from prestigious. Yeah, it's just because this is the other thing. Like, people from Sony really wanted, single player titles. They don't want live service crap anymore, and they're taking that out on Concord. Something that the most vocal members of the PlayStation appear to despise. So, PlayStation fans just don't like live service games. That's like another line they're going with. Concord's a good shooter built on a release strategy and price point that would have been far more at home in 2000. It's just outdated. Again, they've been so overdone. Why would you do this? At the launch, the game has 16 characters, 16 modes. Modes are split up. The matches themselves are very short. Let's go. Really, this is where let me get down to where this gets really good. Because this is one of the only articles that actually mentions the characters. While the gaming discourse on social media has never been less valuable, more disingenuous, time and time again labeled a dead game is a pox that few games can shake. Concord has barely been out on its full release for 24 hours, and that particular anchor feels like it's been attached to its neck for months. Poor beta numbers, the asking price, the vibe of the debut trailer, that included a game that the most vocal fans were seemingly desperate to fail, despite many who played the game pre-release saying the game itself is fun. The cast of characters doesn't help this. While they're colorful, varied, and feature a wide spectrum of body types, then you'll find in modern games, they feel focus tested to the point of blandness. Contrary to what the loudest reactionists on X will tell you, this isn't because the game's cast is inclusive. Really. And it's certainly not because some ridiculous reasons, like the game listing each character's pronouns. Oh, really? The characters are just very forgettable. Huh. It's not because it's inclusive, and this is what I fucking love. There's no Tracer here. There's no Widowmaker. We look at the cast of Concord, and I can't imagine even one of them being taken to heart by community, much less people cosplaying as them. Really? This is amazing. This is so ridiculous. God, it's not because it's inclusive. It's not because it's inclusive and there's a wide range of body types. It's just they're forgettable. So let's take a look. Oh, there's no Widowmaker here. Huh. No one wants a cosplay? You tell me no one wants a cosplay as Daw? This fat freak with a let's go to the thing here. Let's go to let's see. Let's take a look at Daw. No one wants to cosplay as the fat freak with a giant garbage bag as a jacket? Really? It's just they're just forgettable. It's amazing. Like the journalists either A don't know how their mind works or they're just liars. Like look at this character. There's Roka. Here's Widowmaker. I mean look at the design. Cleavage, clear cleavage shown here. A large emphasis on the let's get my thing out here. Let's get my we need to click on the right layer here. I mean look, they clearly show that's not the color I wanted. The color I chose. I wanted green. We're doing some Rivellino here. I'm gonna do some real Rivellino green lines here. I mean look at this. Boom. Huge emphasis on her gigantic ass and hips because it turns out people like the male mind is attracted to these curves. You don't want your characters to be forgettable? Well, you give them something to remember. Oh, let's look at Tracer here. What's Tracer here doing? Hold on a second. Boop, boop, boop. We'll release these lines here. Let's take a look at Tracer here. Huh. Let's see. Let's look at Tracer here. I'll put a new layer here. That way I don't. It's easier to release. Huh. So let's see. You've got the back. Oh, I'm using a mouse. I'm not too good with that. Huh. Weird. The hips go down. Gigantic. Hips sticking out. Big emphasis over here. Here we go. Oh, giant ass here. Huh. I wonder why women want to cosplay as Tracer. Why guys seem to remember Tracer. Huh. It's such a mystery to me why they want to do it. Then you got characters like Roka here, where they literally went out of their way to like completely de-emphasize the hips. Uh, there's just flat, almost nothing. Which it's supposed to, it has a she her. We got a she her right here. It's supposed to be a woman. It could have been a good design. Zero cleavage, like absolutely no cleavage. They put a plate here specifically so you would not see her cleavage. They did the same thing with like its here. Let's see. We can delete this layer here. Let's take a look at its here. Again, probably could have been a cute character if they actually, didn't want to create the most non-sexual characters ever. Like zero emphasis on the hips when she stands. There is no fun. I mean, the fun, from what I heard, the game itself, yeah, it has pronouns in the bio, of course. You guys, you got to signal that this is an inclusive. That was supposed to be their draw. That was supposed to be their big hook, and this is what they want to ignore. They don't want to blame. You can't blame the characters because it's really good that they create these. Again, no cleavage, no visible cleavage at all. We don't want to show any tits. We can't have tits in our game. We can't have any sort of like. Again, she kind of has. Maybe there's hips here, but they clearly don't show it. Maybe a little bit, slightly feminine. But this is the reason. Why don't I remember this game? Huh. I wonder why I don't remember any of the characters. There's nothing interesting about them. If you're going to make a female character, at least, try to make them attractive. But that's bad. You can't have attractive female characters. That's because male sexuality is evil. If you remember, the male gaze is bad. We can't have it. We cannot have that in our game. This is what the game's supposed to be. Oops, wrong. This is what the game's supposed to be. It's a game free of those nasty male urges. This sort of traditional beauty. This is what inclusivity means. So this is what absolutely pisses me off of when he says, "Oh, yeah, it's not because they're inclusive." What does inclusive mean then? The fact that it has pronouns, the fact that it oh yeah, we can have trannies like Baz here. And I'll show you later. It is a transgender woman is the actress for this, or actor, whatever. And of course Amari too. This was also I guess maybe saying that Amari was based off of a trans woman is yeah, I guess the most obvious thing ever. And of course I already showed you like Penny Parker. There at Marvel Rivals again, just like Widow. Why isn't there a Widowmaker? There's no Widowmaker in this game. It's almost like they share the sort of like same design philosophy. It got this pose here. Oh look, here she is back again. Like boom, clear curves to show that she has a figure, a feminine figure, and of course boobs again, big hip shooting out. Huh. It's like the male mind responds to these sort of like lines. They reckon, oh, that's a woman, and then when they don't exist, yeah, they're like, I don't give a shit. This is just again, no cleavage. This is supposed to be a woman, a she, her. No cleavage, no hips. They specifically add stuff to make sure you don't see any of that. So they specifically design these characters to not look good. Again, this guy's just like a square. There's no even like with the men. If you looked at Marvel Rivals, which has a very like distinct art style. Let's see, where's this is Storm with Magneto. You can clearly see like the shoulders are the widest. It's really we're Strange here. It's really emphasizing Strange. Oh, yeah, I already showed this a few weeks back, but the clear like trapezoid, boom boom, going down his hips, wide shoulders. He looks tough. Look how tough Magneto looks. He's an old guy, an old Jewish guy, but he still looks badass. This guy doesn't look. This Theo looks like shit. Look at this guy. He's just a fucking rectangle. He doesn't look tough. Where's there's no masculinity, there's no femininity at all in any of these characters. They're just boring sacks of shit. I mean, I can play as an old Chinese woman. Again, I mean, I don't want to see the old Chinese woman's cleavage. At least there's like a little, I don't know if I call these hips though. It's not really at the hip. It's like hammer pants here, just poofy pants. Oh boy, oh wow, cool. What a cool looking character. Can't wait. Yeah, but it's not because of inclusivity, guys. It's because they're just forgettable. They made it. They didn't make it crazy enough. I mean, I guess they are boring in that sense too. There's nothing that really like stands out. You don't necessarily need to make masculine and feminine characters like traditionally masculine and feminine. I mean, you look at like Roadhog or something in a Roadhog or something like that. And he looks, there's nothing really, I guess there actually is. He actually is fairly masculine though. I mean, you got like a guy like a Roadhog here. Oh no, my computer's struggling here. He's fat, but they clearly gave him a lot of designs here that makes him stand out. Giant hook. He looks pretty fierce. Though he also has, wider shoulders. He doesn't have that. I mean, look how thin the shoulders are compared to his the rest of his body. It's just like it just comes out in like a triangle here. Meanwhile, Roadhog, pretty wide. He's got a lot of like crazy spikes on it and stuff. He looks fierce. He looks like he'll kill somebody. This guy does not look like anybody. Just terrible. The character design is the reason this game failed. It's just amazing to see them go so far out of their way to try and explain that away. Just no Tracer or Widowmaker. I don't know why. Why was Tracer and Widowmaker popular? Like why was it? Oh, because they're attractive. That's 100% why. They're traditionally beautiful. You can make Tracer a lesbian all you want. Men are still going to be attracted to her because she looks like a woman. Crazy, I know. Very crazy. And then, of course, we'll move on. Playing Concord. I've always loved these Insomniac games. We're playing Concord with our friends on Ben's Play. Like the fellow developers are the ones trying to help out Concord's numbers right now. They're really pulling the weight right now. This is a Team Park, a journalist, but that's kind of an interesting thing they brought up. So, interesting thought. I think Concord's not free to play because it might have been exceptionally expensive to make. One key difference between this and other hero shooters: motion capture. They applied Sony's realism to the genre. So, both Xbox, PlayStation release have trouble finding their audience. Both use expensive motion capture. They're trying to say cost, but this is an interesting idea that they're using this motion capture, and I kind of want to do something on this because it feels like the more realistic they try and make these characters, the uglier they get. And I don't know if this is because I think in a lot of ways, the higher fidelity it is, it almost kind of gets that uncanny valley in a way. Because, I mean, you look at, let's see, we look at some character designs that are a bit off-putting. And they mention, look at this animation. Just look at this. Looks like a fucking gremlin. But, I mean, the sad thing, and like, let's show this here.
Come on, let's go! Come on,
this is with sound, so you get to enjoy this.
Come on, let's go!
Yeah.
Come on, let's go!
Whoa, sign me up. Again, like, just look, no hips.
Come on, let's go.
I feel like this could have been a, like, kind of like a cute, energetic character, but just, they would not have, and this is, guys, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean, but this is the base model for, this is the voice actress for, It's here. We're showing It's. And I mean, you can see, I did kind of let's see. I had a tweet. I was, being a little bit mean here because, I don't necessarily want to make fun of, people's looks, but, let me show you my tweet because it has the side by side. And I mean, honestly, it's pretty accurate. I mean, if you look at them side by side, it's pretty close. So, I mean, it's safe to say that they did base this character off the voice actress, and that she might have done the motion capture too, I think. But really important part though is that she's a queer non-binary voice actor. That's also Swana, which is new lingo for Middle Eastern. I didn't know that. So they hired a queer non-binary Middle Eastern person. They gave her, money and work. So that's what's really important about Concord, is that just how diverse, not just the characters in game, but the actors out of game are. But I mean, so like this was their base for their character. I mean, again, I don't want to call her ugly, but in terms of like traditionally beautiful women, it's just not there. I mean, come on, the nose. I mean, come on. Maybe they could have like used a different face instead of like they could capture. I don't know. I don't know what you're supposed to do here. I mean, if that's who you're gonna go with, like, and you're gonna try and like make it based on her. I mean, it is what it is, I guess. And if you look at Concord, a lot of people. Let's see, like, I mean, look at Vale here. Actually, it wasn't Vale. Let's see, what was it? Here, Janzi plays De Veers. De Veers here. That's who they're going with. You'll never believe. All these people got a ton of. I'm so disappointed these people are not going to get a sequel here. Wait, who played? Yes, here's Amari, who's the big girl. Yeah, she's a they transgender actress. I mean, this is your base. How could you go wrong with a base like this? And then who played? Oh, Baz. Baz is another good one here. How did Baz end up looking so ugly when they have a transgender actress who hates Trump? I already showed off her thing on Twitter, but big transgender flag, loves Kamala Harris, big Democrat. So I mean, they're hiring a bunch of diversity hires. They got them in there. They got they're checking off all the boxes for DEI, and this is what they get. This is what Baz looks like. If you're wondering, let's bring up Baz, and this is how Baz ended out. How did this character end up so looking like this? Huh? That's crazy to me. I mean, you can see the likeness here between Mila Jam and Baz. I think they nailed it, to be honest. But hey, so like from the very beginning, this is the game they wanted to make. They wanted to make a game with people that aren't traditionally, considered traditionally beautiful, and they did it. They did it. They accomplished their goal. Unfortunately for them, this is what it ended up with when you make a game like that. This is how it ends. So great job to everybody at Concord. Very good. Vanilla Jam. Very good. But hey, enough of Concord. Let's talk about games that actually sell. So, a game came out from China. Black Myth Wukong tops 10 million copies. So there really isn't any lack of money for video games at the moment. 10 million copies sold, 3 million concurrent players. Developer at Game Science and out by Wukong, it's topped 10 million copies. Just an insane amount of money that they came out with. And this was, one of the second most wishlisted games on Steam. People have been looking for it forever because, it has, it looks good. It has, really interesting sort of like mythos behind it. And, the thing with games with China is you don't have to worry about a lot of sort of traditional West. I guess people are kind of sick of Western media right now because of the obvious things that I've mentioned. They want to keep pushing the sort of like DEI or like their leftist politics into it, which completely rejects sort of traditional values, traditional beauty, and people are finding it over in the East with sort of things like Wukong, which isn't based on sexuality at all. Really, it's just here's just a cool monkey game for you to play. I think they do have beautiful women in it though. They kind of mentioned these are the girls that show up in Black Myth Wukong when you set it to cinematic mode. So obviously, traditionally attractive, thin women. And it's just kind of like Dark Souls essentially. But this is it. Black Myth Wukong is already one of the fastest-selling games of all time, moving as many units in 1 week as Elden Ring and Cyberpunk did in their first months. Just insane amounts of money. Well, yeah, but it's this is what's killing Concord, really, I'm sure. This is just insane. Selling more than Elden Ring. And it's kind of like supposed to be kind of a Souls-like. It's not really my game, but if you remember, PC Gamer also had it. We asked Black Myth Wukong's developers about the controversy over its founders' past sexist remarks. But Game Science only replied, no comment. So they're doing their best to sort of slander it, but people didn't care. People really did not care. After, they kind of put out a hit piece by IGN. They also, it's worth mentioning that Game Science said that the reason they were getting hit pieces is because they wouldn't go with a consultancy company. And that's when IGN decided to throw out their sort of hit piece. This was it by Rebecca Valentine and Key Hu Chan, which it says like openly says they hate white people, which is interesting. Very interesting. So they came out with this as a history of sexism is complicating its journey to the West. It's actually pretty funny to read this now. This was November 20th, 2023. How did that work out? How did this hit piece work out? Complicating its journey to the West. Are full of poo. Yeah, I remember you talking about that, Mish. Good to see you, by the way. Insultancy company. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's essentially a racket, a protection racket, like some sort of mafia thing. Hey, you hire this consultancy company. We talk to, we make sure the journos don't put out hit pieces like this on you. And, everyone's happy. Just pay us a few million, and you'll be fine. And, you just have to make a few changes. It's okay. Just, compromise your creative vision. I am 17 or older. Thank you, IGN. Don't let me play this trailer here. Got a headless dude. That's pretty shocking. So, this is just sort of set in China, based off the myth. I think it's called Journey to the East. Starring Wukong, the monkey. The designs look really cool. It has good reviews, but has the downside from what I heard. It's linear, not as open as Elden Ring, and it's more forgiving. Okay, I could kind of see. I, linear games can be fine as long as they're entertaining. Uh, that's I wouldn't expect like a ton, but I guess people just really like the way it looks. I mean, it looks like it's fun. The graphics are amazing. Uh, one of the things is like there's a reason like these myths like hold up. Like they kind of speak to something like primal in people. It's got like blood raining down. Well, the visuals look really nice. I don't think my computer can handle. I got too many tabs open right now to run this smoothly, but you could like just big boss fights, hard, relatively difficult. But Mish says it's more forgiving than Elden Ring, but for most players, that's probably pretty hard as well. Yeah, looks nice. But I guess the hit beast didn't really work all that well. Maybe journalists don't have the influence they had before because looks like they're having no problems with selling stuff. Whether it's Stellar Blade had a bunch of stuff with sexism. Again, they want to pull out the sort of sexism card here to try and slander Wukong, and it just didn't work. Wow. I think your PC, I probably could. Right now, I'm just like, I have Google Chrome open, and I literally have like 20, maybe 30 tabs open. So right now, it's under a lot of stress. Google Chrome is pretty intensive for some reason. But let's move on. Wukong, huge success. Journos blown out. And let's see if funded. Let's move on to Dustborn. This is the other game that failed terribly this week. Funded by government, game is about a group of anti-government punks. You can't make this up. I mean, what they fail to recognize is it's funded by the EU, and it's anti-American, really. This is Dustborn. Whoa, out now. Let's see how did Dustborn do? Let's see. Let's take a look at the Steam chart. Oh, 36 players right now. It's all-time peak 83. Oof. That's some good numbers. Yeah, exactly. Chrome is how you keep warm in the Arctic and the heater blew up. You just get that computer revving up with some Chrome tabs. So, this was I looked into this. So this is Dustborn. It did get money from the government here. This is the EU Commission. This is a project, Dustborn. As you can see, it has an EU grant of 150,000 euros for video games development support. And let's take a look at this description here. I don't want to bore you. So this is what Dustborn's about. North America 2030. The American Republic is under the iron fist of justice, a fascist police force presided over by President Samuel Ward. California has gained independence. It is now Pacifica, a corporocracy ruled by the wealthy few. Texas has succeeded and rebranded itself as the Libertarian Columbia. This was a world in which words have power. An event known as the broadcast spread viral disinformation and propaganda to hundreds of millions of people, hacked the minds of Americans and gave birth to anomalies. Humans who use vocalization in order to manifest their powerful verbal talents. Pax, our protagonist, is one of them. You play Pax, skid worker, con artist, outcast, with access to powerful vocal abilities. You've been hired to transport some mysterious package from Persista to Nova Scotia across the justice-controlled American Republic. But this is not a one-woman job. The fantastical Puritans are on your ass. The authority of justice is in your way. You're an outlaw anomaly, and you're 4 months pregnant. To top it all off, you play as a pregnant woman. You need help. You need a story-driven action adventure about hope, love, friendships, robots, the power of words. Together, you might survive the road trip unless you destroy yourselves first. At the end of the day, there's no hope except for us. Dustborn's world is not our world, but it's close, of course. It's a world that could be a world where global warming and climate change have changed continents, where civil wars and extensive migrations have altered borders, where authoritarian governments and giant corporations are actually destroying democracy in the name of security and profit. This is a post-apocalyptic setting, but a rather mid-apocalyptic one. There is still time to course correct for humanity, but its time's running out. It's also a comic world of wash and color conflict, characters with 100 of humorous but serious thematic undertones, huge settings, story depth, mystery lores, all looking up a service. Anyway, last but certainly not least, it's a story about the power of disinformation, propaganda, and language, and about how powerful words can alter our perception of reality and hack minds and change the world for the worse, but also perhaps for, hopefully, for the better, which is an interesting end tagline. So it's about using propaganda to defeat propaganda. So it's let's make good propaganda to fight against bad propaganda, which I guess is surprisingly self-aware of the game if it intended to make it that way. And that's kind of what Dustborn's about. And then let's show off some things, some like
Fella you're with, the black kid, dresses like a writer. Does he know anything?
The black kid dresses like a writer.
You are racist.
Fella you're with.
You are racist. Oh, this was another thing I thought about Dustborn. This is kind of interesting. This new Dustborn game is ripped off GTA Online, copying the apartment layout 1-to-1. Paintings, TV rooms, and even the small garden are in the same location. So I think this is Dustborn right here. And let's take a look. It does look very similar. I mean, you look at the stairs here. Let's take a look. They do kind of have that same layout here. Paintings, they just sort of change the paintings a bit. And look at this. Here's the bedroom. Huh, interesting. Very, we'll just change a few things a little bit here. I mean, you could see the stoves, the little like rack in the back, the two chairs. Huh. Yep. There they are. That's really interesting. Really interesting. I guess they wanted to cut a few corners and just, borrow a few assets here. Huh. How interesting. What's the EU? Oh, I don't know if I even want to play this for you guys. It's pretty bad. But enjoy the suffering. We're the aliens here.
We're the aliens.
Oh, they're also the refugees.
We're the refugees.
And they walk among you.
We walk among you.
Oh, they're right behind you. Is that supposed to be a threat? Oh, your time's passed. I assume they're talking about white people here. Your kind won't last, huh?
We're the Dustborn. This bug is airborne. We're
The new porn. No thanks. No thanks, lady. I'll stick to my old porn. Thank you very much. Oh God, awful. I think so. They use kind of funding what basically is anti-white propaganda. Let's be honest. Anti-white propaganda. Because I mean, let's look. I forgot to read this. So this is what their sort of video game and immersive content development is about. So they're talking about here the scope, the object of video game immersive support content is increased capacity. So it starts off like, oh yeah, this is just we're gonna help European video game producers, kind of like help out our own economy here, get our own video game developers going, help them out as they try to compete in the large global market. Why not? Increase quality, appeal, and feasibility across border potential for selected projects. Stronger position on the European and international market for video game and vehicle developers and companies producing interactive, immersive experiences. So let's help out. Let's help out our EU developers here. Then right at the end, they kind of show what it's all about. Special attention will be given to applicants presenting adequate strategies to ensure a more sustainable and more environmentally respectful industry, and to ensure gender balance, inclusion, diversity, and representativeness. Yes. So we'll give you special attention if you make woke propaganda for us. And of course, Dustborn they definitely sort of fill that gap here.
With the black kid, dresses like a writer.
That black
Does
kid.
he know anything?
Oh my gosh! How dare you?
You are racist.
How dare you use a skin color? They seem super weird about race. I think we could capitalize on that anxiety, kid. You're a racist. Wow. We're not racist. Oh, I love this. Look at this great design too. Wow. Very cool. I can't understand why how does this game only have 38 players? Peak. Only has 36 players right now. Wow. That's crazy. That didn't seem to work out. Did not seem to work out for him. Let's see. Oh God. Let's end on a fun note. Dustborn, total failure. Good job, everybody. So normal people keep on winning, but this was a leak apparently from a new Rainbow Six operator. Is this real? I want to believe it is. I think it might be. It just seems too good not to be real. Here they come. They're rolling in. That's the new operator. Has a wheelchair. Apparently it's like a person in a wheelchair that controls drones. So at least, they're not fighting you themselves. That would be ridiculous. But, we got them roll. Let's have them roll in. What a badass. Getting my computer screen going. And then we have drones. 2 drones. Kind of an interesting idea for a character that can control 2 drones to fight people. But man, the Ubisoft reveal season will be called Operation Twin Shells, and a preview for an upcoming reveal panel. The entire season that premieres. Yeah, this is Ubisoft again. The people making Skull and Bones, which how's Skull and Bones doing right now? All right, it's not doing too bad. This is This is the quadruple A game here. Its peak was 1864. So yeah, maybe not doing all that good for a quadruple A game. I think it's still being blown out. By the way, look at. It's important to remember. Let's take a look at this. Lethal Company. This was a game made by one guy, one furry, that used to mod for Roblox. This is his game. It's not quadruple A. It's actually really, the graphics look really low quality. But the gameplay's fun. It currently has 25,000 players on it, almost 26,000 players. Its peak 24-hour peak was 40,000, and its all-time peak was 240,000 players. This is Lethal Company. One guy, one furry that used to mod Roblox. Let's take a look at this 8-year game. $150 million, 8 years of development. How's that doing? Oh. Yeah. Looks like it's doing pretty good. And it's just amazing to see the disparity. How did an entire team of people working for 8 years just get blown the fuck out by one guy? I mean, this is just an amazing, of course, exception to the rule. But still, the disparity between these games. No cutting edge graphics, just a cool idea for a game and fun multiplayer gameplay. Just totally blowing the fuck out of quadruple A Ubi slop is just there's something just so fun about it. It's amazing. Hey, what's up, Jack? Good to see you. Yep, EU. Let's defund the EU. Amazing, but we'll end it here, guys. It's been an hour. I hope you enjoyed it. Rest in piss, Concord. I'm glad you failed. I hope everyone at your studio that was involved in making these characters never has a job again. And yeah, have a good rest of the day, guys. Thanks for be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. I will link over to post 0 now, and we can this is about reconnaissance. Oh, thank you. Let's see, we can find it here. Post 0 reconnaissance over on Jack Napier's channel. So check it out. See, redirects. Yep, there we go. I'll talk to you later.